Nathan De Asha has defeated Regan Grimes in a very close fought battle, and Nathan will be going to the Olympia. Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. The IFBB Flex Pro show that took place this past weekend in Italy has let out. Nathan De Asha has defeated Regan Grimes in a very close fought battle, and Nathan will be going to the Olympia. Got to tell you, it was exciting. You know, I knew this was going to happen. I knew we were going to get a lot of good shows toward the end of the season, right before the qualification is kind of cut off for the Olympia. We're going to get a lot of guys going in. Regan waited, Nathan waited, and it turned into a really, really good two-man battle here with third, fourth, and fifth still being quality competitors we're going to talk about in a minute. But let's talk about why Nathan De Asha won this show. In my mind, it was clear. He was sharper, he has more wow to his body, and great genetics. I mean, let's just call it like it is. Nathan, since day one when he turned pro, and I remember because I was helping him a little bit right at the beginning when he first won the British Championships and got that pro card, I said, this guy is going to be very dangerous. And I think the only reason why we haven't seen Nathan at a much higher level than he's been at is because he's had a lot of bad luck, you know, between his gym, COVID, you know, visa denials. He's missed a bunch of Olympias because of that. I mean, just a lot of bad things happened to him and just set him back. And I got to tell you, I think this is the best we've ever seen Nathan. I think he's back. I think if he can continue on from this point, he is going to be a very dangerous competitor at the Olympia. And I think he's a top 5 threat, absolutely, for sure. He's got great, great upper body. There's no denying his width is incredible. His waist is tiny. He's got that really, really good V-taper. And, you know, pecs, arms, shoulders, who doesn't love that? And he's got that in spades. He turns around, he's got a great back. He's got glutes and hamstrings, you know, that are just beautifully shaped in addition to being perfectly carved in here today. His conditioning was absolutely right on. His fullness was really good. I think everything just clicked for Nathan today, and I think that's why he beat Regan. Regan was a little bigger. He's taller for sure, you know, probably 6'1", 6'2". And he has a really big structure as well. But I think Nathan had more wow than Regan. When you look at Regan's physique, you know, he's put on oodles of muscle with the help of Milos Sarcev over the last, 2 years, I'd say. I mean, I don't even know what the number is on it. I'm sure Milos will give it to me exactly. But it looks like he's put 20, 25 pounds on at least in the last 2 years of solid quality muscle. And he came in good shape here. Nathan might have been a little drier than him, but I think this was a really good look for Regan. If Nathan wasn't there, Regan wins this show, no problem. And I don't think that they suspected that Nathan was going to be coming in initially, when they originally planned on Regan doing this show to qualify. I think we will probably definitely see Regan at the Legion's Sports Fest Pro Show. That will be, I guess, the last qualifier prior to the Olympia. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins that and then qualifies there. I mean, he's really good. He did everything he had to. I think Nathan had him on the back a little bit. Glutes, hamstrings, on Nathan are just so, not only are they, I mean, Regan's might have been as hard or, close to as hard, but it's just the shape of Nathan's, glutes and hamstrings that are really, really impressive on that back double bicep pose. Front double bicep, very powerful Nathan. He's got the teeny waist, huge wide shoulders. He packs a lot of wow in his punch when he's up on that stage, and that counts for a lot in the judges' minds and in the fans' minds. When you look at the pictures, you just look at Nathan, and it's not taking away anything from Regan because he was, like I said, really good here. His best probably ever in terms of size and fullness and conditioning. Could be a little drier, and I think that he probably will. And that could be also accountable for he had to fly over from Las Vegas or wherever he's coming from, Canada. I don't know where he flew in from. But it was a long flight, and that definitely takes its toll on a person's body for sure. I think that we will, like I said, see Regan on that Olympia stage later this year because I think he will qualify. But It wasn't going to happen here in Italy. Nathan wins, Regan second. And my good friend Roman Fritz, who is on the rise. I mean, he won a pro show. He's already going to the Olympia. This was icing on the cake for him. Third place here. He held his own. I got to tell you, Roman's legs are as good as Nathan's and Regan's as far as I'm concerned. He's got separation. He's got size on them. His glutes and hamstrings are ridiculous. And the funny thing is that if you've seen my interview with Roman recently, he had a hip replacement done, and he had to have a revision done on it because he had an infection in it. So he had basically 2 hip replacements on the same hip, and his legs are as better than they've ever been in his entire career. So that just goes to show you what you can and can't do on a hip replacement. Great job, Roman. Roman brings his back up a little bit. I know he knows he needs to work on that a little bit. He could have won this show had he had more depth and width to his back. That's something he's got to work on, but solid third place in my mind here. I really can't. There's nothing I could even say that Roman needs to work on at this point. His conditioning and fullness were the best I've ever seen. So great job, Roman. Fourth place was Yan Lang from China. I'm not sure what his true name is, but that's what his internet handle is on Instagram, Yang Lang China. I got to tell you, this guy has got some of the freakiest legs I've ever seen. We know that Asian bodybuilders have good legs and good calves, but man, this guy is off the charts. He's a little narrower than the guys on stage, and I think that hurt him a little bit, but he's got a small waistline, and he's got every body part. He's really not weak in any body part. He could have been a little drier, a little harder. I would have liked to seen some, his skin be a little more paper thin, but great look. He's got a really good physique. He's got to be probably maybe the best or one of the best guys out of China that I've seen, in the open division. And I think he's got future potential to do a lot of damage in the IFBB if he continues to improve. Blessing Awadibu, who upper body wise looked phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing I can even say about it. His legs, while they look better than we saw earlier this year, they're still behind his upper body, and they need to come up. They're hard. He was in shape. You can't say anything about his conditioning. He just needs more size on his legs, and I don't know how he's going to do that. I know he's got some sort of an injury he's dealing with down there, and I think one of his knees or something like that. But, I don't know what the answer is, but he definitely has a lack of upper body and lower body balance, and I think that is hurting him on stage. Now, obviously, if he does a show where the competition is not as deep, he's going to win it because of his shape structure, and he always comes in great shape. But in this lineup where the guys were just really big and freaky, especially Nathan and Regan, and obviously couldn't get past Roman either, it's just too hard for him to compensate for that lack of leg size. And once again, we've seen Blessing in lineups where the guys didn't have great legs, and he did really well there, but he's not going to do well against guys that have monster quads and stuff like that. And those top 3 guys were just solid competitors. Actually, top 4 guys had probably the best legs we've seen all year. So that hurt Blessing. What should he do? I would say go back to the drawing board, take most of next year off, work on bringing up the legs, and then maybe compete again this time next year, and hopefully be able to bring a better look to the lower body. Anyway, we're going to do a full wrap-up of the entire pro show tonight live with Chris Aceto. It'll probably be about 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Heavy Muscle Radio. Make sure you check it out at the RX Muscle YouTube channel. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.